Welcome back, everyone. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the anatomy of the 3D printer. The first thing you might notice is the colorful spool of plastic located at the top of the printer. This plastic is called PLA filament, and it's a lot like other plastics. However, it is plant-based and it's biodegradable as well. I believe this one is made out of cornstarch, and so eventually when you start printing, you'll notice there's a kind of like sweet sugary smell, which is actually quite pleasant. There are many different types of plastic that can be printed using a 3D printer. However, PLA, the one that we use here, is the most common. So the way a 3D printer works is following what's called an additive process, which means we're printing thin layers of plastic onto what's called a build plate. Okay, but in order for that to happen, the plastic needs to go through a quick journey. So the PLA filament will start right here on the spool, and as you can see, the filament will pass up through this hole. It continues along here, and then it passes through this called the PTFE tube. This tube is merely to guide the filament into the extruder. Okay, this part right here is called the extruder. What the extruder does is basically two things. It will move around in strategic positions in order to print your object, and it will heat up the filament to approximately 200 degrees Celsius. Okay, this part right here, it's kind of hard to see, but the square around it is called the heating block. That's what will heat it. And right here we have what's called the nozzle. And so the nozzle is where the plastic filament, once heated, will actually come out into thin layers, and then it will solidify almost immediately. Like I said, there are many different filaments that you could print with. Ours is called PLA, and it's very rigid, and it doesn't have very much flexibility. But for most 3D printing projects, it is all you need. So in addition to that, we also have the interface right here. Our interface basically allows us to control the printer and basically transfer stuff from USB, as you can see here, to the printer in order to create the object that we want. If you are looking for the on button for the printer, it can be located right here at the back. So the switch is right next to the power source right there. The printer takes several minutes to turn on, so bear with it. It usually takes about 2 or 3 minutes for it to totally load. I also want to point out that 3D prints take a long time. So depending on the size and the volume of your print, it can take up to 12, 14 hours for some prints. But generally, the rule of thumb is the thinner the object, meaning the fewer layers that are required to build up, the quicker the print will be. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you guys basically how to create simple 3D models and export them to USB in order for printing. Okay, stay tuned for the next video.